Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of What I Know to Be True So Far. I hope you're having the most amazing day. I am actually coming off the back of a weekend where I got to do some facilitation around nature connection, and magic, and using elementals. And oh my gosh, it was such a beautiful experience. I actually came into it a bit last minute. I booked myself a yoga and ice bath, right? It was like a yoga class followed by ice bath. And unfortunately, no one rocked up. And it was just me and one other person. And I was sort of saying to the lady who had organized it, because she had lots of people sign up to do it, but they just didn't show up. And I was saying to her, like, I've been there, I have done that. I remember like 8 years ago, oh my gosh, I ran a success workshop, and I had like 5 people sign up and 3 showed up. And I remember like internally just dying, like, oh my gosh, no one's here. And I was freaking out. But you still have to show up. You still have to bring like all your magic, all your best energy, like all the stuff, right? You can't pull back in that moment. And so I was sort of empathizing with her. Like I was saying to her, I've been there, I've done that. And then she sort of said to me, oh, so you facilitate? And I was like, yeah, I facilitate. And then she said, I've actually got a spot at a festival that I've organized and I need a facilitator. And it was a really big festival that she had organized. And so I was really trusting in this amazing synchronicity of the universe that brings the right people to the right people at the right times. And immediately I was like, yes, of course. And I was so excited. And it actually turned out to just be like one of the most beautiful experiences in this beautiful little bell tent. And I just loved it so much. And it's such a reminder to just spread your light in whatever capacity and way you want to that brings you joy and makes the world a little bit of a brighter place. And I just had, just a beautiful, amazing experience. We are in Mercury retrograde, I think, at the moment, and I'm having every tech issue you could possibly think of. Technology and communication always come up as things in retrograde, and this is now my 4th attempt to record this episode. So wish me luck. If you're hearing this, it was a success and all ended well. But yeah, I've had some serious issues. So if you are also having to deal with tech and you're having every problem under the sun, I just want to send you a bit of love and empathy today, because it really sucks and it's really hard to just keep going. Just sharing a little bit of like, I get it. I feel you. It's really hard, but you're doing amazing. Okay, in this episode today, I'm going to be talking about the things that you need, or the elements or components that you need to create an incredibly successful life and business. And this is how I have created the success that I have in my life and business. And what I know to be true so far is that when you work with these 4 elements, everything in your life goes amazing. All the things in your business go as amazing as they possibly can. And I think that if you can start to work with these 4 elements, but not only work with them, understand in these 4 elements where you're lacking or where you're not allocating enough of your energy and enough of your time, you can really start to see the things that you need to do in order to bring more success into your life. And when we're talking about soul-led success, it's really coming from that deep place of knowing this is what I need to be doing, this is what I want to be doing, this is what is true to me, this is what I know I came here to do. And so this process can also help you with that, because when you get this, it's going to mean that you have taken care of every aspect in order for you to understand yourself better and create better success in your life. Okay, so what are the elements? And these are not like specifically in line, like do this first, second, third, fourth, because actually they all impact each other. And you might like to start with the 4th area and then move to the 1st area and then the 3rd area and then the 2nd area. Like, it doesn't matter how you approach it. All that matters is that you commit to harmonizing all of these things. There's one area that you can't do before the other, but I'll talk about that as we go through each one. So the first area is strategic planning. Now, if you're magical like me, you will have resistance to this. If you are like flowy, creative, magical, multi-passionate, all of those things, you will like have a lot of resistance from the strategic path. But I'm telling you now, having intentionally given space and time to think about how you're going to go from A to B, from where you are now to where you want to go, and all the little touch points in the middle, is going to be an absolute game changer for you. Strategic planning is not this boring corporate-y thing that we do. It is creating a plan and a pathway that is going to get us the results that we want. So we're going to be looking at something and saying, how am I going to approach this? What do I need to do first? What do I need to do second? What are my SMART goals within this? What are the things that I know I need to achieve along the way so that I get to this end result or this end desire of the thing that I want to create? And this isn't overthinking the hows, it's giving you a pathway. Your strategy may change, adapt, and alter over time, and that's okay as well. But having a strategy is very important. It gives you clarity on the direction that you're going and allows you to have that point of focus of what it is that you're trying to achieve and what it is that you're trying to do and the plan to help you get there. The next element is implementation and action. And this is the element you can't do before strategy. Please don't, because then you will have a million creative ideas and be doing a million different things without a plan and without knowing how it is all going to go together. So this is the only element that I would not suggest doing before the other, and that's implementation and taking action. Do the strategy first and then take the implementation and do the actions. This is really looking at making sure that you are showing all the way up and doing the things, because we cannot create anything in our lives unless we co-create with the universe. And co-creation is not just sitting and thinking. Co-creation is meeting the universe halfway. It's saying to the universe, hey, I'm really into achieving this thing, manifesting this thing, having this desire, and let me show you how keen I am by meeting you halfway, by taking action and implementing the things, right? The next element is looking after your mindset and your mental wellness. This is very important. The mindset and mental wellness is what is going to allow you discipline and focus, and I mean deliberate focus, conscious focus on showing up and doing the things that you want to do. So you cannot have anything with the strategy and the implementation. You cannot do either of those unless you've also got going on a really good mindset and you're taking care of that mental wellness. Because if you're not getting any sleep, you're staying up all night watching Netflix, you're not looking after your vessel, your body, right, which is affecting your mind and how you think, you're not going to want to show up for anything in your life, or you'll have scattered energy, or you'll really struggle to do the things like implementation or to sit down and write the strategy or think about the strategy even. So having equal amount of energy and time between strategy, implementation, and also looking after your mindset and your mental health. And very much mental health impacts that mindset. They go together, right? We can't think with clarity about what it is that we're trying to achieve or have conscious awareness or manage our mind, because it's a monkey mind if we allow it to be. And I don't say that as disrespect to monkeys. I love them. I more mean like if you don't look after those thoughts, it's literally like a toddler running around with a knife up there. Like you just don't know what's going on, you know? And then the other element is equal to the strategy, implementation, mindset, and mental wellness is your energy, magic, and spiritual wellness. Being super connected to your soul. This is your intuition. This is your emotional intelligence. This is focusing on connecting to your soul on a daily basis. This is your consciousness. This is all of those things. It's being tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You need to be focusing on all 4 of these things. Now, it's very tempting to just focus in one area because that might feel more fun to you. And you might be like a super nerd who loves strategy, or you might be super magical and you love the spiritual work. But if you don't balance this all out, you will not see the success that you want to see in your life and your business. So all of these go together, right, as well, and they influence each other, because when you have a really good strategy, your mind is influenced by that, because your mind loves to know what's the plan, Stan. And so you'll have more mental clarity, mental wellness when there is a pathway. That's just what the ego loves. It loves to know how we're getting there. What are we doing? That's why we can get so stuck in the house so much. So just simply that act of creating that strategy is going to help also with your mental wellness, your connection to your spiritual self, your creative self, your intuitive self. That's going to help influence action taking, right? Inspired action. That's going to come from having that deep balance between knowing what you want on a soul level and then being able to go and take the actions to show up for those things you want to create from that soul level. Having really good spiritual wellness means also that you're able to be very present and creative in that implementation phase too. And obviously, your mindset influences your spiritual wellness, and your spiritual wellness will influence your strategic plan, because you're not coming from like thinking. You're also coming from soul, because you're after the soul-led level of success. Now, I want you to just take a moment and just think about, where out of these four am I not balanced? What am I not paying attention to? What am I not giving my energy to? Because I want to give you a really good example. I had a client who was very good at strategy and very good at implementation. Loved to sit down and strategically think through everything and then implement like a crazy person. And I mean that in a really good way, like that real radical, like I'm just doing it, I'm getting the things done. But she never took care of her mindset and mental wellness, or her spiritual wellness, or her magic, right? Her energy. And what ended up happening was that she achieved a level of success, but burnt out, and actually ended up burning her whole entire business down, because she really suffered mentally and she felt very disconnected from her spiritual self. I've also had clients who are very creative with a million creative ideas. And so that's like really being tapped into that spiritual aspect, right? Where the creativity comes from. And then very good at implementing. So being very connected to the soul, having loads of creative ideas, and then very good at implementing. But if there's no strategy behind that, it's just a bunch of creative busy work, right? And you're like in every direction and there's no actual plan and pathway. And that can be very overwhelming, especially if you are a business owner who is trying to up level, for example. And you may be very good at the ideas and all that creativity and be implementing, but say there's no strategy for support, no strategy with your systems, no strategy with managing your mind, no strategy with your mental wellness, you're going to hit that point when nothing is really working and you're just running off that energy of doing, meditating, but it's not actually getting you anywhere. I see this a lot with beautiful soul-led, multi-passionate people, and it's something that I personally struggled with as well. Very good at creative ideas, very good at taking action, not very good at seeing the long-term strategic plan so that there is a natural progression for a sustainable level of success. And it's why I struggled for a really long time to have calmness and clarity in my business that allowed me to be sustainable. It meant that I would just randomly start projects and randomly do things, and they would all work and bring, good abundance in, but then eventually at some point it would stop working, and that would cause so much frustration for me that I would just like chuck the project away, right? You need to have that strategy in place. And so just an invitation to think about where in your life, because this applies to your life and everything you want to achieve in there as well, your life and your business, where do you put too much energy and where can you actually redirect that energy to have a very harmonized balance between all these elements so that you can see really long-term success for yourself. And for all my magical people, I want to help bridge like the idea of like the energetics of elements behind this as well. Because if you want to think about strategy is very grounded. It's very earth energy, right? It's the plan that's going, and it's the soil, right? That's going to be able to fuel everything else, right? That's really like the earth energy. Implementation, I would say, is more like fire energy. You're like going for it and you're like doing all the things on that list and it feels amazing. I'm a huge fan of fire energy. I'm a Leo, so obviously, I'm there for the fire. If we're thinking about mindset and mental wellness, our intellect, our taking care of our vessel, right? That's really like our air energy. And when I say taking care of your vessel, I do mean your body, because everything that's going on in your body is going to affect your mind 100%. Like, if you do not take care of your hormonal balances, you don't even have the capacity to manage your mind or to have mental wellness, right? You'll just end up like I did a few months ago, which was just in a ball of anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. No one's perfect at this. Everybody goes through moments where you have like wake up calls where you have to readdress where am I not taking care of things, right? So that is the air energy. And so you want to really think of it as the mind, which is really the intellect or the thoughts that you have, which is really very much related to air energy. And then there's the spiritual wellness and the magical and energetic work. And that is all emotional, vibratory wellness, right? That's looking after your vibration. It's also your intuition, it's the flow, it's the creativity, it's all of that. It's very much water energy. And so if you want to think about this in a more magical way, you can think about it as balancing the different elements: earth, fire, air, water. How were they all coming together to give you that holistic balance so that you have really great success in your life? And I apply this to everything that I do in my life and my business, but this is the exact framework that I work with my client. It doesn't matter what program it is, whether it's the Soul Led Success program, the Calm Relaxed Abundance program, the Conscious Marketing Foundations program, or even my monthly management accountability meetings and my courses, all follow the same framework. Having the strategy, having the action and the implementation, working on the mindset that supports all of those things and your mental wellness, and really tapping into the energetics, right? The creativity, the emotions, the intuition, all of that. Every single time I work with clients, even if we're talking about marketing stuff, and there's a lot of strategic and implementation, because what I do there is very done with you. It's a done with you program. We're still looking at your mindset and your mental wellness, how you're feeling about it too, your emotions and your energy behind it, your subconscious beliefs, your spiritual wellness, your triggers, your sabotages, your traumas, right? That all fall into those two categories of the mind and mental wellness, and also the magic energy and the spiritual wellness, right? It's so important to get this, because once you get this, you can do whatever you want to do with your life. If you can hold the right thoughts about what it is that you're doing and have that very clear mindset and manage your thoughts and know your sabotaging behaviors and be able to catch them before they go and ruin things, that is phenomenal. Put that together with knowing what the plan is and actually taking action and doing that all from a very soul enriched, connected to your intuitive, creative self. It is mind-blowing what you can really do and achieve with your life. I'm going to also write a blog about this, because I think it's really important for people to really understand this. Once you get this, as I've said, you can create whatever success you want to achieve in your life, but you're not going to do it from a place of burning yourself out. You're going to do it from a place of harmony and balance. And soul-led living and soul-led success and soul-led business is all about that. It's really understanding I am human. I came here to think, to do all of that stuff. And I also came here to have a beautiful experience with my spirit, with my soul. And you want to be able to go about life feeling like these areas are balanced and noticing when they're not. So you can do something about it so that you don't head, 6 months down the track and now your whole life's not looking well, or your business gets blown up, or, you want to be able to go, hey, something isn't working and what can I do about it? And when you notice that something isn't working, you follow the same approach. So if something is not working in your life, you go back to square one and look at, how am I going with my strategy? What's my plan here? How am I going with action? How am I going with my mindset? How am I going with my energy and my spiritual journey, right? So an example of this might be when you are navigating something to do with your financials. Let's say you're having a really hard time with your cash flow in business, your abundance flow in your business. And you ask yourself the question, what needs to change in order for me to receive the abundance and to receive that cash flow? And you go and look at these areas and you notice that you're spending a lot of time meditating. You're spending a lot of time listening to subliminal money affirmations. You are doing money energy work. You are journaling. You are doing gratitude, all of that. And there's a lot of energy going into that. And then you notice, okay, actually my mindset's pretty good about money too. I think I'm thinking in a way that's very expansive and trying to welcome everything in, but why isn't it coming in? Then you notice, oh, I don't really have a plan here. I don't really have a strategy for consistent income within my business. And I'm not actually very good at implementing and taking action. I find myself more sitting in that floaty, beautiful space of spirituality and thinking positively, but I'm not actually doing the things that need to be done in order to get me the results. If this is you, by the way, I just want to empathize with you, because that is how I ran my business for a very long time. At the start, it was all of that. And then I was very good at creatively implementing everything, but no strategy. And I know how hard that place is to be. But I promise you, if you even just journaled or kept a record for a week about how much time and energy you spend on each of these areas, you will see very quickly where you're out of balance. And then make the conscious decision to do different and start to distribute your time and energy across all 4 of these areas, and watch everything in your life and your business start to shift and change and become incredibly successful for you on your terms, led by your true essence of what it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime that is very short that we have on this beautiful earth. And that, my beautiful friends, is what I know to be true so far. Thank you for joining me in this episode. If you have any questions, you can please leave a comment on Spotify. If you could take a moment to review the podcast, I would super appreciate that. It just helps me reach more beautiful souls in the world. And if you want to connect with me, you can do that over on Instagram. Also, go and check out, if you are watching this in real time within the week of when this episode comes out, go and have a look at my website for all of the Black Friday sales that are coming about, because all of my coaching courses, done for you, everything in between is on a store-wide sale. And so if you've been wanting to work with me before and you've not had the financial capacity to do so, now is a very good time to lock me in. And we will go on the most incredible journey working out your strategy, me supporting you implement things, working out more supportive, more serving you amazingly well mindset and mental wellness. And also, of course, because it's me and I love it so much, all of the magic, all of the energy work and the spiritual wellness as well. All right, you have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week, and I will see you in the next episode. I look forward to it, and don't forget on your journey to keep exploring what it is that you know to be true so far.